Welcome, Wellness Community. My name is Lillie Brinker, and this is Generational Health Podcast. And today I'm excited to have my guest, Sheba Spencer. And we're going to well, first of all, I'll have her introduce herself to the wellness community. And then we will speak about the topic today is about intuition, knowing thyself. You know, we hear this all the time, know thyself, know thyself, know thyself. What does that really mean? We hear it, but does that really apply to us? Because a lot of times we're looking for outside sources to tell us what to do. So Sheba, introduce yourself to the wellness community, and then we will start the conversation.
Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. My name is Sheba. I am an intuitive and I really enjoy the work that I do. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're happy that you decided to join us today as well. So when someone says, you know what, I am intuitive, what does that mean to you as someone who is very intuitive?
Yeah, it means that they are connected with that deeper part of themselves, with pretty much their heart, or some people choose to call like your higher self or spirit, that you're connected with to that part of yourself. And you're able to receive messages, whether it's through sound, like through your inner mind, your inner ear, some may say, whether it's through seeing or getting a vision, or whether it's just through a deep feeling of knowingness.
Okay. So seeing is one way, getting a deep feeling about something or having
Mhm.
a vision. Those are things that would kind of indicate that you have some connection with your intuitive side, if
Right.
someone is sharing that. So how do you know whether or not to trust what you're seeing or feeling or the vision? How do you know that?
Okay, that's a good question because we live so much outside of ourselves, you know. We live in a world where we're told to, look outside of ourselves for the answer. But the opposite is really to really see and feel what is true to you. You want to it sometimes it takes time.
Okay.
So sometimes like you just know like you know, and sometimes you might get an let's say a voice that tells you, you know, go this way or something like that. And it's very subtle. That's how you'll know a lot of the times it's subtle. It's not like a loud projection. Um, and it takes practice. So
Yes.
it's like the more you practice, the more you listen, then the stronger it gets, the more you can recognize it. So that's pretty much it. It's like, yeah, I would say it's practice.
Okay. And going that direction as far as being intuitive, I it's stepping into your power. It's learning to step into your power. And so,
Mhm.
like you said, in our society, all these outside influences, we're being told what to do. I mean, from many, many, many different resources and sources in itself. So, to be able to, one of the things I'll ask you is that at some point there is a part where you have to be silent. You have to be silent and cutting off the distraction as well. I mean, what do you think about that particular comment?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like silence is really key to listening, really even listening to somebody else here, we have to stay silent. But when we talk about like spirituality and intuition, it is a big part. Because it's like meditation, okay? And you can meditate in many different ways, but meditation is simply being quiet enough so that your intuition can speak through and communicate with you versus the outside or the chit chat in your mind. It's about quieting your mind. And you can do that in many ways. You can do it in like sitting down meditation, excuse me. You can do it during a slow walk. You can, go in nature, or my brother, he likes to freestyle, like rhyme.
Mhm.
Says it's like meditation to him. So it's like many different ways that people can quiet their mind down and allow their intuition to speak to give them the answers that they're looking for. But like transcendental meditation would be like sitting down and just quieting your mind intentionally. That I would say that's probably the most popular way
Mhm.
and probably one of the best ways to strengthen your intuition.
And the message can come through many, many different avenues also, like you're saying, for instance, like, you're speaking about you with your brother, but it can come through music. Actually, it can come through being out in nature. It can also come through where somebody could say something that you were really trying to sort out, and that they just literally say something that is the answer to what you were trying to figure out. And it's kind of odd. They might even know they're telling you something. So it's being open to, like, you back to what we were saying, listening, being open to listening, and not where you're seeking it, but it's just where you're relaxing the mind and the body and allowing the spirit to flow into you and to be able to receive it. And we do question it though. I mean, again, you said it takes time. It does take time. It's not, if you haven't, like today, if you're starting to, let's just say we're starting today, that we're going to, from moving forward, listen to our intuition. So if someone is saying, you know what, Sheba, I want to start today doing that, do you have any like steps or any type of guidance for that individual to help them to become more comfortable listening to themselves?
Well, yeah, absolutely, because we're all intuitive, every single body. And so I would say to somebody to look and see when you have been intuitive. Look at those times where you got an intuitive nudge and maybe you followed it or maybe you didn't, but you know that it was an intuitive nudge based off of the experience after. And you can get more comfortable in understanding it and feeling how it feels then. So because I know everybody has had that, whether it's through a dream or through some type of insight, they've had some type of intuitive nudge throughout their life. I would also say to definitely meditate, just like we were talking about. Find a way to quiet down your mind. So even if it's not transcendental meditation, start getting out in nature or start asking yourself questions and then quiet your mind and drop down to your body. That's a big one. Getting out of your head and more so listening with your body versus your mind is going to bring you a long way in understanding intuition, because that's where the information is really coming from, our body, our heart versus our mind. Our mind, yes, is good for, the worldly plane and this physical plane. It's good for our, it's attached a lot to our ego, and but our heart is really going to give us more and deeper insight on things that our mind can't pick up on. So I would say, yeah, really drop down to your body and practice, um, take note. Sometimes I know some people, they like to take note, like literally they might get a book, and if they feel like they've gotten an intuitive nudge, they might look at the book or write it down, and then they'll look at the book, and later on they will look to see if it has any validity.
Hmm. There's an individual at one point, I remember that he used to, before bed, he would have a question and he'd write the question down before he went to sleep. And maybe the first night he didn't get the answer, but he continued to do it every night until an answer did come. He did receive an answer. So the other thing is not to be discouraged when you're seeking something. It may not be because you are practicing. It may
Yeah,
not come like the first time you'd be like, oh, I'm looking for this answer. I want the answer today. It may not come today. It may be other things that need to align together in order to bring that information to you at the right time also. So,
absolutely.
it's like us, giving a message to someone. Sometimes people are ready to receive it and sometimes they're not. So it's that, I think also the universe or spirit works that way too. Are you ready to really receive that message? A lot of times, it seems to me that children, being so close, I guess, to the spiritual world, they seem to be, it seems to be so naturally flowing for them early when they first get here on this earth. And so that's something also, just speaking about children and getting some type of guidance or information, and then sharing it with adults, and adults kind of say, oh, no, that's, like make it a strange thing, but it's real for them.
Yeah.
And in general. So have you had, I mean, for yourself, anyone, have you had experience? I mean, for as a child, you definitely had these downloads. And then, of course, as time went on, some of these things stopped happening because they started to shut down. Has that been something that you are familiar with or worked with someone who's had that experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Most people as children, we definitely are intuitive. That's where like the imaginary friend comes from. And a lot of times the friend isn't really imaginary, it's another being from the spirit realm.
Mhm.
Or you get a lot of children saying, I see, grandma and grandpa, but grandma or grandpa passed on.
Mhm.
But me, myself, I've had experiences when I was younger. It really well, I think I told you this story, but so I do playing cards.
Yes, I
I
do.
play
Yeah.
cards, and so when I was a little girl and I was playing cards with my mom, and I was looking at the card, one of the kings or queens or something. I was looking at one of the court cards, and I said, this is more than just a game. Like I just felt it. Like I knew it was more than just some playing cards that we use to play a game with. And so I asked my mom about it, and she's like, well, I don't know, girl, play the game. And
Yes.
I said,
Yes.
no, it has to be something deeper. I just knew in my heart. And so I said, I'll wait till daddy gets home. He'll know. And so I asked him when he got home from work, and he didn't know either. And so I said no, but I just know. And so I said, when I get older, I'm gonna find out.
Mhm.
And sure enough, when I was about 24, they came to me, like the teachings of the cards and like what they truly meant. It came across my path. That's like one thing, like I always go back to that story because I use the cards till this day.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have gotten other intuitive, not only intuitive hits, but like I've seen different lives that I have been through when I was a child.
Really? Really? Now I want to share more about that one. You can, okay, go ahead.
I have gotten flashes of a different life I had lived during I guess slavery times.
Oh, oh.
I lived in Asia. I can't tell you exactly what part of Asia.
Hmm.
I just remember I was around the same skin tone, but I had long black hair and I had Asian features.
Hmm.
And yeah, those are a couple of them that when I was a child, that I witnessed past lives. Because I used to go within a lot as a child. I didn't care for my childhood. There was a lot of challenges in my childhood.
Hmm.
So I used to go within deliberately to seek some type of solace. And I was a loner. So I didn't have many friends. So like, yeah, my inner self was a place for me to explore.
So when you went inward, were you frightened? Was it concerning? Was it just more comfortable? Like it was something, it just was normal.
It was very normal. I would so like around the age 11 is when I started like to really go within more. And it was very normal. I don't know, I would just explore, and like I had a whole inner world,
Mhm.
sort of say.
Wow.
And so that's how I would, I guess, kind of escape this harsh world, this harsh reality, you know. And it was more peaceful.
Did the adults, did they recognize what you were doing? Did they comment at any point on what you were doing?
No, they didn't.
They weren't aware at all.
Mm-mm.
Did they notice anything different about you? I mean, could they see that there was something different about you, or were you just just one of the children to them.
I was just one of the children. Yeah, they didn't know. They didn't really recognize it.
Is there someone else, if you were to speak like in your family, in a different generation time, that also had the same gift and it was passed on to you, or and then you chose to work with it and utilize it in this lifetime?
On both sides of my families, there are intuitives.
Okay.
Um, on my father's side, it's his mother, my grandma, and she would teach my dad about spirituality. She would teach him about meditation, and she was very much in the church as well.
Hmm.
But when my dad was a teenager, is when she started to get more into spirituality. And it's funny because the type of church that she went to, her and my grandfather, even though they were married, they went to different churches. Because her church was a charismatic church
Mm-hmm.
and his was more conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was really into that side of getting in touch with spirit. And for my mother's side, my mom herself, she's very intuitive, astral planes.
Really?
Um,
Oh.
before when my grand when anybody passes away in my family, they go and speak to my mom first. And she knows when somebody passes away. Like she knew when her mom passed away before the nurses even knew because my grandma visited her like 3 in the morning. So yeah, it's definitely from both sides of my family. And I know a lot of my spirit guides, they
Mm-hmm.
come from my mom's side of the family.
Your mom's side?
Yeah.
Do you like the spirit guides? Do you recognize them, or is it more in a kind of an energy field? The individuals.
It's more from my like from what I feel, it's more of an energy. I can recognize some of them, like because I have one that likes to rhyme a lot. They'll say phrases or words that I don't normally use. Um, so that's like I haven't individualized them yet, except for the one that rhymes. I haven't gotten their names down yet either. But I know I can just feel that it's more from my mom's side. Um, but yeah, there's the one that rhymes, and then I feel like all of them like to use older language that I wouldn't use.
But you understand it. You understand where they're coming from when they're sharing the speaking with you.
Yeah, because when they give a message, it's like the understanding permeates throughout your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So even if like they told me a word, like for one time I received a message. This is actually a personal message for me. And I was trying to see like what choice to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go with this choice or this choice? It was about dating.
Okay. Okay.
And my spirit guide says, for this particular guy, chuck him. I said,
Oh, okay, like that. Okay. Got it.
yeah. And at first I didn't really know what chucka meant,
Mm-hmm.
but then like I understood it,
Yeah.
inside, like I understood the energy, but I was like, oh, that's a different word.
Sheba does readings, and I've had several, several readings from Sheba, and she's really good at what she does, and you can feel that when she's speaking with you that it's Sheba physically also, but there's a spiritual component to her. Because what's interesting, I think one time she was sharing something with me, and she said this probably without even thinking. I was asking same thing, asking a question, and she went mm-mm, mm-mm, like that. And I don't know how, if she even realized that she kind of did that inflection, inflection in her voice, but it was like, mm-mm, no. And I mean, no, it wasn't really like there was, mm-mm. So that's like, if you say where somebody else is coming through, they're coming through like you're speaking with Lillie, but mm-mm, no, uh-uh. No. Because that would
Yeah.
be something you may not even, in our conversation, you wouldn't even say probably to me. You would be more, I think I'm just saying from you, you would have more of a vocabulary, would be a more extended vocabulary, more longer conversation. I don't see you as going, mm-mm, no, I don't see you doing that. So that's when I knew it was coming through another energy field. And it was either from, like you said, it could have been from your ancestors, my ancestors, whatever, but someone else was speaking through you to me and giving a message in general. Let's talk a little bit about the readings, your card readings, what you do. And let's just talk about how you got into, well, no, how you embraced it, not got into it, but how you just decided to embrace this and decide to provide readings to individuals who are ready to receive the message that you were sharing.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, well, I've been doing it for about 16 years now. And at first, I was just really intrigued with the cards. I just really enjoyed getting to know them. So I began to learn the cards. When I got into the readings more, it's when I was telling my sister. I gave her a reading, like just a little snippet of something that I saw, and it came to pass. And I just thought it was so cool. And it helped her, it helped her to really see where she needed to go, and it gave her clarification. And so I started to do it more with friends and family and things like that, coworkers, little parties or gatherings that I had, things like that. And just really for fun and just to express myself more in that way. And then I got into it somewhere around, I wanted to get into it more, but I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I was scared to kind of put myself out there. Around COVID, it's when I really came out, or like, right. Yeah. In the mix of COVID is when I came out, because I got furloughed. And so I was at home, and I was like, well, I have this gift and I want to help people in the best way I can. So I put it out there on my Facebook, like, inbox me if you want a reading. And a bunch of people inboxed me.
Oh.
And so and there was no energy exchange. I just wanted to help people to get clarification, because I knew a lot of people had a lot of questions around that time and wanted some clarification at that time, especially. So yeah, I just did a lot of readings. I did a lot of people. And I thought at first I was so scared. I thought like I was gonna be, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was scared. I still did it. And I just been doing it ever since. I started doing psychic fairs after that, which I really don't like the term psychic,
Okay. Tell me what you like.
Yeah, I like intuitive more, but
Okay.
a
Okay.
lot of people like to say the word psychic, but I psychic is more to do with the mind, the psyche.
Okay.
And
Right.
where intuition has more to do with the heart. And we can read people's mind, we can read people's heart, we can read people's emotions, and the heart will really tell what the person is truly wanting, whereas the psyche will talk more about the person's fears and hopes. So that's why I like the word intuitive more.
And you were saying, in the beginning, you were a little bit hesitant, which I could quite understand, putting yourself out there because if you're intuitive, which has been, I think it's been given a bad, well, psychic, whatever, and being intuitive has been given kind of a bad name because question is, how do you know what you know? Because again, if there's something all powerful and above all of us that knows everything, how would you end up getting the same gift that the all powerful one already has? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And it's not the same gift.
Okay.
It's the all powerful really speaking through the individuals that are intuitive or psychic or whatever you want to call it. I don't mind if you call it psychic, but it is the I am, the spirit itself speaking through the individual. But it's not like we know everything. We don't.
Right.
We just get messages. It's like the more you do it, the more understanding you get, the more messages you get, and you get better at it. So some psychics are like really, really good, and some,
Like anything, right? They like anything else. Some people practice at it or, they're more connected to it. And some people are like it's just an entertainment for the moment and that's when they do it and then they're on to something else. I guess it would be like anything else in life for all of
right.
us, how committed we are to it. and how aligned are we with what we say we are, with the spirit that comes through us and everything. So,
Mhm.
one of the things, I've heard that women are a little bit more intuitive than men. I've heard that. But also with that comes another stereotype that we're like, for women who have these gifts and are open to sharing these gifts, we're considered like witches a lot of times, that we're like some witch or evil force or some voodoo. I mean, these labels are used along the way to kind of discredit us as far as having information that would be very important to people that we're interacting with.
Yeah. And that's really sad, but it's been going on throughout history for a long time. As far as shunning people for being a quote unquote witch or whatnot.
Mhm.
And, there are good witches and there are bad witches, or if you want to call it Wicca, or if you want to call it hoodoo, or whatever you want to call it, it's just a connection with source. It's just a connection with a higher realm.
What about the one thing, I call it the sales pitch, when someone goes into someone and they say, you have all this dark energy around you, you have a lot of negative things happen to you, you're just have a curse on you, and for $450, I will remove that curse and do all that if you just, follow the directions I'm giving you.
Yeah, I don't like that. Some people do have dark energy, but it's of their own thinking. It's of their own mind.
Mhm.
And it can be anywhere from like somebody passing away, so they have a lot of turmoil, or it could be anywhere from like they have a real victim mentality, so that would be considered dark energy, or they just might be right out want to harm other people because they're disconnected from source, and that's their choice. I mean, we can never really be disconnected, but through their free will, they're allowed to do that. But yeah, I don't like that when people try to take advantage of other people like that. Um, but sometimes it might be true. I'm not gonna,
Right.
discount and say that's never the case. Sometimes that it might be, you
That
know.
the dark energy could exist um,
Mhm.
within, well, we know that it does, whatever the energy is, it does, that lower energy does exist along the way. This is a sidebar. Have you seen Sinners? I haven't seen it.
I have seen it. It was awesome. I
Okay.
loved it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. So since we're talking about the different realms of life and good and evil and did, from that perspective and from you who you are, was there something, a takeaway from that? Because it was an pretty much all black cast that
Mhm.
was yeah, I haven't seen it. So go ahead. From just your perspective, from being someone who's intuitive.
Well, okay. So I like that they did touch on hoodoo.
Okay.
And hoodoo is nothing but it's like working with spirit. It's working with herbs. Because herbs have its own spirit as well. We all know like lavender, for instance, right?
Mhm.
We all know that lavender helps with anxiety
Mhm.
and helps with insomnia and stress and things like that. Well, that's the spirit of lavender. So, versus it helping with just our body, it helps with other things as well. So, like working with or doing hoodoo or working as a hoodoo priestess, or because one of the ladies in there, she was a hoodoo priestess.
Okay.
And so she would work with different herbs to help heal or to help bring about manifestations and things like that. And I like that it touched on that a lot,
Okay. Okay.
because that's really a part of our lineage as
Yes. Yes.
Black Americans or African Americans.
Yes.
So I thought that was really cool.
And I think now we're coming, yes, I think that for us culturally, that what we call hoodoo, voodoo, intuitive, whatever you
Mhm.
want to call it, I think that is part of our culture. And it's been a
Yeah.
very strong part of our culture. And so, I mean, all of us could probably, could pick some family member that activated that gift, and actually shared it or spoke about it, or it could have been from what you may call grandma's wisdom or something like that. But it was
Mm,
something where they had the vision to see something or the insight to see something. And so that also was a way of keeping us out of danger and also protecting us as well throughout navigating being in this country and other parts of the world.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So and it seems to be that that's something right now that again, where I mean, when people are talking about it, it's been downplayed. The conflict has come in. Your background, the conflict has come in through the church, having the church basically. Now, this is what's being said. I can't. I'm just giving like what's being said. The church, in the sense of having where you are to go through someone else to activate, or even not to activate, to even get the information. So you have no resources on your own to bring forth anything. If it's not coming through this one source, then again, there is nothing really going on. Or if it's going on, it's through, i.e., Satan.
Yeah. And that's I feel like, and I feel like the church, I know it helps people, right? And on one hand, but I think religion, the Christian church specifically, because that's more about what I know, it's in
Yes.
my lineage, it has a way of separating people. And not only separating people, but separating you as a person from God, the true God, the one God, because most people, when you say God, they think it's Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And so that's my thing on religion, and it just brings a lot of fear. So I know like when we talk about culturally history, um a lot of people used to practice hoodoo,
Okay.
and it wasn't shunned upon, it wasn't looked down upon until the 40s. In
Oh.
the 40s is when they did a smear campaign on everything natural. And just to clarify a little bit, hoodoo
Mhm.
is different from voodoo.
Okay.
Voodoo is more West African,
Okay.
and it's a lot of Haitians do voodoo. And it talks it's different because hoodoo is more working with herbs versus like objects or deities even.
Hmm.
I know voodoo does works with deities and things like that, versus hoodoo works with more the elements of the earth.
Hmm.
And it's like it's more Black American. That's where it comes from. It was created through Black American culture.
The hoodoo was, or the
Hoodoo.
hoodoo, okay, was created through us. You're saying in this country, or it's
And then
West Africa, but we brought it with us, and then we still utilized it in this country.
well, voodoo was created in West Africa,
Okay.
and then hoodoo is, I would say, it's an offshoot of voodoo.
Okay.
They
Oh,
are very different.
okay. Okay. So, oh, that's interesting. So this is something, and you said in the 40s there was a smear campaign, and that campaign was to just, and I know you can't ever be disconnected, but to cause confusion and division, basically. Uh,
I would say it caused people to disconnect from their roots. It caused people to um step away from what was really natural. And this smear campaign, it was from herbs because they wanted to sell more medicine.
okay.
It's through midwifery
Hmm.
because they want women to have children in the hospital, and with breastfeeding, they wanted, women to buy the Similac or whatnot. And with the church, because church for a long time has been used to control people,
Hmm.
to control the minds of people through their spirit, and through fear. And so they wanted people to step away from their connection with God, in order to bring them closer to the church. And so, yeah, there was a big smear campaign, and here we are today.
You know, it'd be interesting for those, the wellness community, to take the time, not just to, I mean, what we're saying and what she was saying, but, do some research before you go, whatever, do some research. Go back into the 40s and look up, like you were saying, the hoodoo, and look at that, the culture and the history of it and the changes that came about with the church and the division and all of that. So start to do research. When we're speaking about something, go back and do the research. And if you can't find it, you can always send me an email. You can go to my description box and send me an email, and we would love to continue the dialogue about it. So we just don't want people to go, and toss it aside, but let's have a conversation about it. That's how we learn and grow from each other. The other thing I was going to say is that I know I'm from Mississippi, born, but people talked about people putting spells on people. They put a spell on so and so, so and so got it. And what I want to just add to that, the word spell and the word spell word, um, is that we don't quite understand that you can, when I say put a spell, you mentioned about people, they can be like a certain, they can be discouraged, or they can have certain spirits within them that can cause them to have a lower energy within their own life or their own body. And those
Yeah.
things can be considered a spell. And we don't quite understand that, how we speak and what we say and the language we use. One of the things I know I can say in our community, I mean, for a woman can say to a man, "You make me sick. You just
Mm.
make me sick." And I've heard that. I've heard that through women speaking to men or whatever. Or a man will say, I'm just going to give this is kind of graphic. A man can say about a woman, "I hit that. I hit that," meaning that it was, a sexual interaction. I hit it. I hit it and quit it. I hit it. And there's language and things that we use that we don't understand that could create a spell or create something within our own family and life that can cause us harm. And we don't even realize that we're saying what we're saying because we're so used to using some of these languages and speaking a certain way that we're like, "Oh, it's Satan, 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 there goes Satan again." And we don't realize it's something that we're creating ourselves. Do you want to elaborate on that, what I just said, or do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, there's like the etymology of a
Yes.
word
Yes, thank you.
comes from. And then we have the connotation of the word and the denotation of the word. The connotation would be like what we use the word as nowadays, and then the denotation will be what the word is really meant, how the energy that was created with the word when the word was created.
Mhm.
And I really try to be really conscientious of the words that I speak, because we all say things
Mhm.
to where we don't really mean it. And
Like you're so stupid, like you're stupid. And I
right,
I really appreciate I'll let you finish this, but a mother, I'll never forget, someone was saying to this child, the father was saying, "You're so stupid." And I'll never forget the mother interrupted and said, "No, his action may be stupid, but it doesn't mean he's stupid."
yeah,
Which
yeah.
corrected that whole energy. That energy right then and there was addressed and it was corrected.
That's pretty much what I was saying. Like it's I think it's important to really understand, what words you're saying and what they really mean before you say them.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, let me ask you a question. Um, the word devil and live are the same. Have you ever done some research on that to give us more information, or have you seen that and heard that?
Yeah, like lived and devil,
Uh-huh.
or like evil
Mhm.
spelled backwards is, live. And it's like, well, that makes a lot of sense, to live backwards is evil. It
Oh,
is a
see, all
like
right. See, you just now see you just that's a nugget there. You're saying to live backwards is evil,
hmm.
huh?
And if you look at the word, it spells evil if you spell it backwards.
Interesting.
There's a lot of words like that. I used to I would call it like wordplay.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's really interesting as you notice more and more words. There's one guy on YouTube, what's his name? The channel of the YouTuber is Real Nagas, and he breaks down the etymology of different words.
And it's real. And then what's the second word in?
Real Nagas, REEL
Oh,
and
REL. Okay.
GGAS Nagas.
Real, okay, and GGAS. And so that's what I'm saying when people are talking about, again, we're talking about language and we're talking about spells, spelling, spells, that these words that we're saying, you can cast a spell over someone's life or over your children or over any, and you're not even aware because you think you're simply doing something out of, that's just the way we speak or that's just how we are, and that's who I am. And, and so it's important I say this, it's important to speak life into especially your loved ones, anyone that that you're connected with, and in this lifetime, if you want them to have a great, a life that is a loving, supportive environment, you want to speak life into them so that they can go out in the world and do some amazing, great things. Because we can block people early on from even just becoming our true selves because there's so many things that have been put upon us that we have to work through all that programming to get through it. It's like we just got weeds and weeds and weeds that we have to cut and trim to even get to able to see the light. I guess we're going back like an intuition. So when people are like, oh, she's intuitive, she's able to give information or give you some guidance, or the spirit comes through her and gives her this information. Well, the same thing again when you're speaking to someone and you're not speaking life into them, you also are downloading information from a spirit that is not going to provide you to serve you and for your highest self as well.
Well, that's a good point. Like when you're choosing a psychic or an intuitive, you definitely want to choose somebody, excuse me, choose somebody that is, uplifting you to where they're leading you. You don't want somebody talking down to you or, giving you lower messages. Make sure the messages are high because we're always working towards our highest good. And then I just wanted to say another thing about the spells.
Mhm.
First, we have to think it. We have to think it first before we speak it. And then it spells out SPILL. Then it spells out.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And so I think that's very important too. Just really being in tune with our thoughts before we even say something. Because our thoughts, they can literally, like you're saying, words as well, it can literally make us sick. It manifests everything. Our thoughts are units of energy and it's going to manifest whatever we think. So the second step would be to speak it out.
And one of the things I know, one of the things that I do is I stand before the mirror and I speak to myself and I say to myself, I love you. And I do it for like, I don't know, sometimes 21 times in the day. I'll do it off and on. But again, pouring life into me, saying, I love you, Lillie. And just looking at myself in the mirror. And for anyone where you're not able to do that at this point and and you're starting, that's huge. Huge, because if you're not able to say to yourself, I love you, it's very challenging to actually be able to share and to give love to anyone else. So also with being intuitive, I'm going back and forth, being intuitive, that also, from my experience, that when I've been guided or received messages, it's like you're saying, it's always been for my highest good. It has always been for my highest good. No message has come to me where it's asking me to do anything that's going to damage or self-destruct, cause me self-destruction, or to dim my light. That has not been my experience at all. Now, when I was in a place where I didn't have what I would say, I was at a lower place and I didn't understand myself and I didn't know myself, then yes, I would get those kind of messages. But that was based on just my environment, the environment I was in, and the people maybe that I was associating with. But I have yet have to, I haven't had that experience. It's always been a message for my highest good to elevate me and to take me higher. So if anyone is in a place where they're hearing these messages in their head and it's saying to do self-destruct or to harm yourself, that's not from your higher self. That is definitely not from your higher self. Do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, so just as there are light ancestors, there are lower ancestors. So just like you have lighter entities that surround your life and help you along with life, sometimes there are entities that want to attach to you that are lower.
Mm-hmm.
They're lower, so they want you to feel that way. That's just the energy that they resonate on. But you always have the choice. You always have the free will to either go with it or go against it. And I think like in Christianity, when they say like, oh, that's the devil's work or whatnot, that's what they're speaking of, because there are always lower energies and higher energies here on this plane. So um just choose light, just choose light, choose love.
Let me ask you a question. This is something like maybe that can be done. Let's say the entity has attached itself to you, and you'll know because I think we were talking other day about where at one point I felt out of balance. I couldn't quite define it. And you had suggested for me to go into water. If you have a bathtub, take a bath, take a shower. Or for me, I'm very fortunate to be close to a beach, so I was able to go and take my shoes off and step into the water and to cleanse myself. So there is something to baptism too, to cleanse myself. So can you just kind of repeat that, what you shared with me? If someone else is like, I feel out of balance. I went somewhere, I went into this group today, I went into this environment, and when I left, I just didn't feel right. Something, or I met someone, or I interacted with someone, and I just didn't feel right. So is there something that when they get home that they can do to just protect themselves?
Yeah. So water is very cleansing, because we can speak life into water and it truly picks up on our, language. So, I mean, they've even done experiments to where, I forget the doctor's name. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm
I
not
don't
going
want
to.
to, but it's an Emoto, Dr. Emoto.
Yes. Yeah.
Dr. Emoto.
And he did, he put water under a microscope, a black light microscope, and he said affirmations to each, water, each set of water, and the water where he spoke negativity to that water, the water came out to look very distorted, very unpleasant. Whereas where he spoke to the water, I love you, and affirmations of peace and upliftment. The water was very beautiful, made very beautiful crystal shapes, and it was just in harmony with, it looked like a snowflake.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to say that water, it truly does hold our thoughts. Water holds our it holds memory, it holds energy. And so getting in water will definitely refreshing you, can definitely wipe out, especially if you do it with intention, can wipe out what you don't want to be with you. You can clear your mind and clear your spirit. It works on so many levels. Even drinking water, like if you are going through an emotional, upheaval, or you're having some type of emotional upset, you can drink water with intention to help you feel better and to flush out those lower feelings that you might have. You can even like write a label and stick it to a glass jar on the water and help to heal yourself. It's so many, water is truly healing.
And we're going to, and the great thing about this is our body is about 75%, it is 75% water. And
Mhm.
I think the earth, I don't want to get this one mixed up. I think the earth is about 75% water. So water is extremely important. So If our bodies are 75% water, think about that. And you're speaking into a glass of water, and it's able to change its formation. Think about when you speak to your body, that's 75% water in an
Right.
amazing, loving way, the change and transformation that will happen over time. Well, we've been speaking for about a variety of topics and everything today. So, and again, I'm so grateful for our conversation and just you being open to just going with the flow and just having this dialogue in general. But is there anything, if I were, I mean, intuition or anything as far as individuals who were really wanting to step more into their intuition? We talked about, of course, practice. We talked about, learning to trust, and trust comes with practice. So you won't be able to trust unless you practice. Um, that's the way it goes. You have to practice to gain the confidence to do that. So with intuition, I mean, for me, I can say that for my intuition, I've been practicing a long time. I mean, there are times I have some little doubt, like I go back and second guess myself. I've second guessed myself, and a lot of times the first information was 100% correct. The second was not, and I got myself into some trouble. So I've learned to go with my intuition, or if a thought comes to me, again, something that's something that's enlightening, something that's giving life to me or the situation, then I really honor that. And I also now say thank you. When something comes to me, I say thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for
Yeah.
letting me know. So I also want to make it's a relationship. I appreciate being given the guidance and then moving forward with that guidance. Is there anything you want to say more about being intuitive?
Well, I like that you talked about gratitude because that's so important for everything we do in life, right?
Mhm.
But even when it comes to spirit and our spirit guides, just giving them things is important. Intuition is just so important in life overall because we have to be able to trust where we're going through what we're feeling from within. Because the outside can deceive you, your eyes can deceive you, your ears can deceive you, people can deceive you, but your intuition will never lie to you.
Nope, it won't. And I know that's hard for people to believe that, but you are definitely correct with that. Go ahead.
And sometimes it seems like sometimes it might seem like, oh well, this isn't logical to do, because our mind is telling us to do one thing, or our mind is telling us something different than what our heart is telling us. But I'm telling you, the heart, it wins every time. And I'm not talking about the emotions of the heart.
Mhm.
I'm talking about when you get a strong inkling of that's the heart. That's the type of heart that I'm talking about.
Yes.
But it's just super important. It's gonna take you through life more easily. And it's honestly, it's like a tag team. Your intuition and your mind, you need them both to live a life of flow and ease. Because yes, we need our mind, the masculine part, and yes, we need our heart, the feminine part, and they both exist simultaneously. And I just want to say real quick, I don't think that women are more intuitive
Okay.
than I don't believe in that.
Okay.
I
That's good. I
believe,
mean, it's been said that, but that's good to know. I think, like you say, we all have been given a gift. It's who decides to utilize it,
mhm.
and in general. And the thing I'm going to say, because we are big on language, we're big on being able to communicate the verbal language that we use. And so if we were to really, for instance, social media, if you were to just take the volume and turn down, if you're listening to something, well, if you're watching something, and turn it down and just look at the people as they speak. No, no words. You're just looking at them. And I can guarantee if you do it enough, you'll be able to share or see, I should say, exactly what they're saying, what they're really actually saying.
Hmm.
It's like somebody saying yes, and the whole time they're shaking their head no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen that, and people have seen that where they're like, oh, yes, but they're shaking their head no. The body is saying no. to it, but but we get yes. So that's one way of just strengthening your intuition and just starting to watch. And for me, I have strong feelings. I get a feeling from people that comes through me in that way. I can walk in places or people or whatever, and I get that feeling. And it's not always bad. I mean, there are good feelings too. So everything's not like be on guard, watch out
Right.
for that person. That's not always a feeling that I'm getting. But I do get a feeling for people, no matter what they're saying to me, no matter how they're speaking, no matter how charismatic they may come across or may not be charismatic. I always get that feeling inside. In general, of how to move forward with interacting and working with individuals or having a relationship with them, and everything. And yeah, and then the other thing, I guess we're talking to trust. If you're asking for guidance, in a situation like you were saying about the boyfriend situation, and you're asking for guidance, and then you're getting it, give respect again and gratitude to the message that's coming to you, even though you may be like, I don't really want this answer. I don't want this. Like I mean, and I know I'm speaking. I'll let you finish up here, but I mean, like, when we're dating, if you say, is this, like you're saying, is this really the right guy for me? Is this really the right guy for me? And you really don't want to know, but you're kind of asking because you kind of want to know, but you don't want to know. And you get the answer. Let's say you go to his house and he has another woman there. He has another woman there. And you go, well, but that may not be the sign. I need another sign. So the signs just become bigger and bigger after a while until you can't ignore them. So they say, be careful what you're asking for. Literally, really, do you really want the answer? Because when you start asking, you will receive an answer. And it's always for your highest good, always. Anything else that you want to just add to this conversation?
I do kind of want to say one thing. So I don't know if I said it before, but intuition is us connecting with God.
Yes.
Um, so you want to have a strong relationship with God, whatever, and I'm the one God or spirit or source. So we have to be aligned with source energy in order to get the highest messages.
Okay.
We have to be aligned with source in order to grow, in order to get what we want in life, in order to really get what our heart desires. We have to be aligned with source.
And for people who are seeking to be aligned with source or trying to understand what that means, do you have like, how do I get aligned with source if I don't understand? I mean, I'm just saying, how would I go about doing that?
So if something feels off to you, don't move with it. Don't go with it. It's following the good, following what feels good to you, not really what society say this is good, but following what your heart is telling you.
So you're asking people, instead of just being intellectuals, because we take pride in being intellectual, and feelings don't always make sense to people. I mean, the person who's more stoic and comes across like they are untouchable in the sense of emotions, those are the people that we admire because we think, oh, these people really have it under control. They've got their emotions. You don't really see them. They don't share them too much. They're very intellectual, and we've given feelings a bad name. You're talking about some internal energy that we
Yes.
feeling. You're talking about that is internal thing that has a different type of it has a different it's a different type of energy. It's totally different than just I'm just all over the place. I'm just scattered. I'm this, I'm that. So you could be a reserved person and still have that powerful energy, or you could be a very talkative, bubbly, whatever person and still have it too. But stoic doesn't mean, like when I say stoic, that you're just reserved. It doesn't mean that you are a person that has a certain level of spiritual energy over someone else or intellectual over someone else.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not like suppressing your emotions or not feeling your emotions, or it's not being um emotionally imbalanced, It's more so about feeling into your heart, into your body, and you don't always have to go with your logic. But feeling into your heart, because that's where source speaks to us from our heart. And so that's why I said we need that relationship with source, because that's the basis of our power. That's the love is the basis of our power. And so yeah, it's not like we have to be emotionally out there or just fly off with our
Right.
emotions. and we don't have to suppress them either. It's a balance.
That's a good point. That's a definitely good point. We're going to move forward to close with the wellness community today, and thanking them for stopping by and taking the time to listen. As you know, we said to flip the word, listen and silent are the same thing. So you have to be silent to listen. So you have to listen to be silent. So that word, like you were talking about, you can flip it. So taking the time to listen and to receive the message that we're sharing. Not hoping, but that you will receive something that'll be beneficial and that will add life to your life, and a light, and help your heart to be a little lighter on this journey. Sheba has been just so gracious. She's offered to give a 30-minute reading. What we're going to do is that for anyone who puts their name in the description box, there will be a drawing, and that will pull a name, and that individual will connect with Sheba, and she will give a 30-minute reading to them. Just a way to say thank you to the community from our podcast, Generational Health, and then from her side as well. So tell everyone how they can reach you, or anything that's going on with you that we should know about.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed our conversation. And you can reach me at, you can go on my website and book a reading if you like, and see more information about me. I also have some cool products over there. My website is beautyintegrative.com. So that's beautyintegrative.com. And then you can check me out on, let's see, Facebook at Beauty Inside Out, or you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok at _Beauty Inside Out _
Perfect. And if you go to Sheba's website and you posted, that you heard her on Generational Health, then we can also enter you in to receive a reading as well.
on Google reviews.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll have all that in the description box, and then we have many ways to reach out to her. But I really thank you for your time. I know there's a time difference. We have a 3-hour difference. So, and I appreciate she was staying up a little extra just to have this conversation and to do this podcast with us. It's been a minute trying to make this happen, but guess what? It did happen. So I'm so grateful.
Me too. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. If nothing else, we will close this evening, and then we will speak. Well, she and I will probably definitely speak again. And then the wellness community, we will get back together and with another guest and continue to talk about how to build generational health. And my motto is healthy people build healthy communities. Thank you. Take care.